Hey guys, welcome back guys to Models and Beer. Here we go, part 5 of our US self-propelled 155mm gun M40. And my apologies for my compressor in the background, and we're going to be hearing that periodically as we get through this painting process. Okay, alright guys, we left off, we have everything in this gray primer. I did order me some Vallejo olive drab, and it did come in, and we're going to give it a try. I'm looking at the color here. This is it here guys, and it's not quite the green I was looking for. However, it might look different once it's applied to the model and dried, right? It just doesn't seem the green that I was looking for, but we'll judge it after we get it put on the model here. I did wipe a little bit down on this piece of paper here, and I don't know if the camera's picking that up or not, but it's just not the green that I was looking for. But then again, you know, I know that Tamiya's olive drab is a little bit more of a green, and this one seems to be, I don't know, kind of like a muddy green, I guess. But let's see what it does. Let's go ahead and give it a shot. In the event that we don't like it, we can always switch it up and go back to something else and go back over it, right? Okay, so I got the cupolas here taped down so they don't blow away on me as we're spraying those. And I got our whole assembly here, and let's just go ahead and get right on into it. Alright guys, there we have it. I have to be a little careful. It's still just a little bit tacky, but I'm okay with that color. It just looked really odd in the bottle itself. It looked like it was more of a gray than it was an olive drab, but I think that nailed it. That looks pretty nice. I am good to go with that. So we're going to let this set up, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to put our gondolas on here. Go ahead and add some tools onto here, and then we can move forwards. Like I said, we can get into our spade and our platform and our business end of our cannon up top, right? And yeah, and then we can start our diorama on that. So yeah, I am happy with that. Guys, I did use some Vallejo airbrush thinner just from some comments that I got. Thank you, Patrick. I had no issues with the Vallejo airbrush thinner, so if you are using Vallejo paints, that is the way to go with the thinning. It went on very nice, and I appreciate that tip. Otherwise, I'd have been resanding this thing and repainting it again, which would have been a big major pain in the butt, especially since we got all this stuff already glued on, right? So very, very cool. All right, let me go ahead and stop here. I have these extra tracks that are going on to the front of our hull here, However, it calls for that to be I forget what it says, a dark metallic type something or another. And I do have my Tamiya XF56, which is a dark metallic. Looks like a gray. It's like painted over. I can't even see what that says. But I'm going to go ahead and spray these tracks with that. We can get those installed, and then we'll move forwards from there. All right, guys. Okay, got this metallic gray. Let me get my camera in here, and let's see how this looks. There we go. Again, sorry about the compressor in the background, guys. It's like right next to me here. All right, very cool. Let's let that dry. We'll take them off there. All right, guys, so I'm very pleased at the way that this turned out. The color actually isn't bad at all, is it? Like I said, when I was looking at it through the bottle, it almost had like a dark gray color to it, more so than the green. So I was kind of concerned, but no, it came out nice. I am super happy with that. And of course, we're going to be weathering it up and stuff like that, because again, we are going to be putting this into a diorama. I've yet to do a diorama, and so that's what my intentions are for this model here, is to add it into a diorama, and just try my dabble a little bit into that, I should say. All right, so we got our extra tracks here that we had painted a metallic gray, so let's go ahead and get those put on really quick. And we're going to be adding, like I said, the rest of the stuff on here, the shovels, the pickaxe, and all that kind of stuff. Oops. And then we're going to move on to the rear of our M40 here, and we're going to do our spade and our platform and all of that. There we go. Hopefully this will sandwich in underneath this bar right here. I guess maybe because I was jumping around in the instructions, and maybe it called for me to put this in first. Let's see how this goes. No, it slid into there. Alright, there we go. Let's get that other one in. Yeah, I've been wanting to do a diorama and pick up my modeling game to the next level, I should say. And this one comes with all the soldiers and pretty much everything you need other than the scenery, right, for the diorama. This one is a little bit tight. Let me see if I can raise this up a little bit here. There we go. All right, cool. I'm happy with that. Let's give that a few seconds to set up. All right, successfully got those tracks on there. And now the part that I've been dreading, guys. Getting these little tiny clear parts, these little windows, into these little guys. Whoops, where's my camera? I've been dreading this. And, I was kind of hoping that they would have these already in a circle, and all you'd have to do is place the circle into there, right into the things. But of course not. That's not how that's going to work. We were going to have to individually put each and every one of those in there. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do this off camera, guys, because there's going to be probably a lot of cursing and everything else, and I'll come back to you once we got that all finished. Okay, we'll be right back. Alright guys, we got it done after about 25 minutes of cursing and sticky fingers, and yeah, but they are in there. My camera's out of focus. But anyways, yeah, we got those in there. It would have been so much easier had they have just made it onto a circle sprue of clear that you could have just dropped the circle down in there. Those are so tiny that it's almost in my, hard to work with. I know you can't see it. My camera's not in focus. Let me see if I can get a better focus here. Give me 1 second. That's a little bit better. And I did use the Mod Podge on this, and it's still drying. But yeah, those are a pain in the butt, guys. That's probably been the worst part of the build, and hopefully that's the last hard part of this build. The rest seems like they're manageable sizes. Other than we still got to get the lenses on these headlights on this unit here on our hull. So, all right, guys, let's give this a few more minutes to dry, and then we're going to go ahead and install those. Alright, quick update. I did run a bead of Tester's window maker. Whoops, where's my camera? Along the edge of this plastic. Simply, I wasn't sure whether or not that Mod Podge had a good hold on it or not. And I ain't taking any chances. Once we put this thing onto that hole, there's no recovering any of these pieces of plastic that fall through. So I did run a bead along the edge of those windows, just to give it extra, an extra security that it's going to stay where it's supposed to. So, all right, there we go. Just wanted to show you that really quick. And again, that was the Tester's. I call it the window maker. It's clear. It says clear parts cement and window maker. You know what? We probably could have just used this rather than even putting those plastic windows in. Those holes were small enough that the window maker would have worked just fine. But anyways, we did get them in there. A little bit of a struggle. And I ran a bead of the Tester's window maker around the edge of it, just to give an extra bond on those plastic pieces, make sure that they stay right where they're supposed to. Okay, let's go ahead and get these gondolas installed here. I'm going to be using a little bit of CA, and then we're going to move on to the tools, and then we're going to end this video. And then we'll pick it up on the next video where we'll start with the spade on the back and so forth. Yeah, this was the part I was dreading, guys, is getting those little windows into these. I'm trying to be careful here, guys. I don't want none of this CA to spill out onto our paint job. So I'm trying to keep it right to the inside. And they do have a pin. You can see the hole for the pin right here. So it'll only go in one way. Okay. And just like that. And I'm happy with the color of this olive drab after I got it put on. It looked, like I said, it looked different in the bottle. But I'm happy with it. It came out nice. Actually, that's actually the color that I was looking for. There we go. Yeah, where's the pin on this one? Okay, it's over here. All right, there we go, guys. The windows are still a little bit foggy as we're waiting on that Mod Podge and that window maker to completely set up. But that should be nice and clear once that is completed. So there we have it. Like I said, it's looking good. I'm happy with that color. We are going to be doing a little bit of weathering on this, probably actually a whole lot of weathering on this, because like I said, once we get it in that diorama, it's going to be a little bit muddy, and so I'm really looking forward to that. Like I said, I've never done one before, so I'm kind of excited to see how that comes out. So, all right, guys, there we go. Let me get these tools out, the shovel, the pickaxe, and pry bars and all that good stuff. And let me get those primed, and we'll get them painted up, and we'll install those onto this hull, and then we'll end this video. All right, guys, we'll be right back. Okay, real quick, guys, I forgot to put the lenses onto our lights here while we're still messing with this clear plastic. Let's go ahead and get that taken care of. I'm going to be using the window maker as the adhesive. Let me get some out here onto this. Yeah, I almost forgot all about that. Well, we're playing with the clear plastic. We may as well go ahead and tackle that, right? And it's behind this cage here to protect the light. So we're gonna there we go. Alright. And what I did, guys, I took a toothpick and I dipped it in wax. So we should just be able to pick up our lens like that. Let's see if we can get it in there for a shot. Here we go. There it goes. Cool, we got it. Perfect. I didn't think it was going to be that easy. Let's see if we can do it twice in a row. Alright, here we go. Trying to see if that one's facing the right direction. Here we go. And we got it. Look at there. That never happens for me. Bullseye. All right, cool, guys. There we go. Now let's go back and get those tools primed and painted. All right, so I went ahead and detailed these tools up off camera just to save some time. You didn't miss much. And let's get these installed. We'll start off with this axe.
stream.
Alright guys, there we have it. We got everything accomplished that I wanted to accomplish in this video. We got our hull painted, the olive drab, and I was questioning the color, but now that it's on there, I think it looks great. I'm happy with that color. But like I said, we are going to be weathering this thing down as we put it into our diorama. We got all our tools on. I think there's going to be a few more things that we're going to be adding to it. But for right now, that's what the instructions got us doing. And we got our tracks on there and painted the metallic gray like it said. Our gondolas are all on and our windows are clearing up. The Mod Podge is drying inside there. I don't know if you can make that out or not, but they could be worse, but I'm happy with what they were. They were a pain in the butt getting those in there, those tiny little things, and big fingers, but we managed, right? We got it done. So there we go. In the next video, guys, we are going to pick things back up. We're going to start working on this back end, okay? We got the spade we got to do. We got some platforms going in. We got some cables and some rigging that goes in over here, you know, to lift and lower the tailgate. And then we got our main gun up top that we got to build yet too. But I think the next part we'll tackle will be the back end of this here, and then we'll finish the top for last. Okay guys, I appreciate you following along and watching. This is an interesting build. It's been a fun build so far. Nothing really crazy as far as, you know, being too complex. Everything's pretty straightforward and it is a nice fit. I've had no fit issues. We still have not done the track yet. We probably should get onto that here sometime soon too. I was waiting to do the painting to get the tracks on there. I guess we could probably go ahead and put that on anytime we want to now. So alright guys, so we're going to leave it at that, and then watch for the next video. We'll pick big things back up right where we left off. And yeah, everybody have a great week or weekend. It's the weekend, but it may be the week when you're watching this, so whatever it may be in your neighborhood. Everybody take care. Have a great week. I'll see you on the next video, okay? Bye-bye.